Hey everyone, welcome back. I've lately seen a video by Red Means Recording, which is called Consumerism in Music Technology Sucks. I will link to it in the description so you can watch it too. And he has some really great opinions on things like capitalism and how brands create devices that always leave something out to get the newer version sold. He talks about how we as gear nerds tend to forget about how much fun a device can make once a newer version of it came out. And while I feel guilty of this too sometimes, I want to pick up on one of his topics and show you why I am still in love with the OG Digitakt 1, even though the Digitakt 2 can do so much more. That's today's video. Let's jump right in. I have to say I'm still pretty impressed and still in love, deeply in love with the OG Digitakt 1, because in the end it's still a sampler, and a sampler can be whatever you want it to be. And I'm using it a lot to sample other synthesizers or sample things off of Instagram or off of voice memos I did with my phone or something. And I have to say, it's still an inspiring device for me, even though it's a Digitakt 1. Yeah, I know the Digitakt 2 can do a lot of things this one cannot do, but for the moment I really don't care, because I like using samplers. I don't want to bore you with random facts. Instead, I want to show you how I use it. And for this, I have this little drum beat rolling here. Yes, and I have only one synth line coming from the Digitone 1. And as I said in the previous video, I don't want to take so much devices with me when I'm playing live, so I will focus on only these 3 devices. And I will not take the Digitone 2 with me on stage, because I want to save some space on the desk and don't worry so much about cabling so many devices. I feel like the Digitone 2 is a great soundscaping or sound design device, and therefore I will use it to be sampled by the Digitakt 1 here. And I have this little synth line. Nothing more than that. And I will now add 2 or 3 chords to it, which I know will fit to the scale. And I will record it with the Digitakt. And then I will mangle the sample with using LFOs and trick conditions and so on and so on. So let's do it. I will go to the sample recorder and start to record it. That's it. So now we have a little synthesizer line here. Nothing more than that. I will now trim it. Okay, and the end, like this maybe. Hit yes to trim, yes to save. I will now place it on track number 3 here. And if I now go to track number 3, here's our sample. You can see it running in the background. Okay, I will now place some triggers here in a random, just a random sequence here. We will adjust it later. And now I will just mute some things here, and I will make it shorter, that we just have one short trigger here of the sample. And you can see what it does. It gets triggered and triggered again from the same sample start point. But if we now go to the LFO and adjust the start time, you can already hear something changes. That's already quite nice. Let's play a little bit with the LFO and let's see where it works the best. I feel like the random waveform is not really working well, so I will get back to a sine wave. Can now add a second LFO and maybe apply it to the amp page. play with the decay time. Now let's add a little bit of slower amp attack time to avoid clickings in the beginning. Okay, nice. We could now also go into the actual tricks we placed and play with probability, maybe. I will add like 50% trick probability to all of these steps to have a little bit more randomness. Maybe like this. I feel like the decay amount is too strong on the LFO, on the second LFO. Maybe let's add some more tricks to it. We could maybe play with the hold, the amp hold time. That's quite nice. So this way, if you program just a simple synth line or a chord progression or something inside of the Digitakt and then play some tricks and play with a simple start point, which then gets randomly placed throughout the sequence, that makes a nice evolving and quite randomly sounding melody line from which you can build further. I already had some chord progression here and a pad sound, and I hope this will fit. That's quite nice. One thing I forgot to mention, you could go back into these tricks here and set some of these to reverse. Maybe one per page. So like this maybe. And now you hear that the tricks are not only randomly placed because of the trick probability. We also have an LFO on the sample start point, which gives a nice amount of randomness and uses different kind of sample starts throughout this chord progression. We added also like this trick, when it's played, it plays backwards. That adds a nice kind of sound to this overall sequence. And every time it goes round and starts again from one, it sounds a little bit different. And I feel like adding these reverse triggers in combination with the trick probability so it doesn't get annoying over time and happens too often. I feel like that's a nice addition to the sequence. And I like to play with recorded chord progressions this way because it creates melody lines that you would not instantly program by yourself. These things just happen over time. And then once you got one line running and it catches you somehow, you have a nice foundation to then build further with pads or bass lines or you name it. I like to use the Digitakt for things like this, recording melody lines and then sampling it and mangle the sample, start with the sample points, sample start points, using reverse on certain tricks, or play with the LFO and the different LFO destinations. And for this, you don't need the Digitakt 2. I mean, yeah, the Digitakt 2 is an awesome piece of gear, for sure. But I mainly use the Digitakt 1 here as a drum computer or a drum machine, and I always leave at least 2 tracks free for sample stuff like this, to play with samples, to play with, make some sound design or like a foundation that evolves over time. And playing with samples in this way is like pure fun, I feel. And the Digitakt 1 is not dead. It can do it, and it's fun to use it still. Because as I said in the beginning, it's a sampler. Sampler can be whatever you want it to be. For instance, if you go and load anything, I don't know, I have a snare selected here. It can be the snare. If you go to the sample menu here and play with the length, like this, you only hear a tiny click. If you then go and raise this loop parameter here, toggle this knob here and make it forward loop, if you have the Digitakt 1 for a longer time, then you maybe know that, but you can use any sound, really any sound, no matter if you record it, if you've spoken it, if it is in a snare drum like this one, you can use anything to be an oscillator, because it's a sampler. And you can now play with the tune. Let's stay in the center for this example. And now you can make it shorter if you want. Go to the amp page, make it longer if you want. Play with a filter. I did this out of a snare sound in like 20 seconds. That's the reason I love the Digitakt. And at the moment, I don't have the need to upgrade to the Digitakt 2. So if you can get one cheap, do it. I know the Digitakt 2 has some super nice additions, and I will definitely get one at some point. But I also want to mention that you can do so much awesome things with the original DT1 also, like sample mangling and sound design in general. Yeah, I hope I was able to heal you a bit from gas, and if you don't have a Digitakt yet but you want one, maybe save some money and get a used Digitakt 1. You will have a lot of fun with it, and it provides uncountable hours of fun, I promise. If you like this video, however, it would be super nice if you could subscribe to my channel and hit a thumbs up on this video. It truly helps me to keep creating videos like this. And tell me in the comments if you still use the Digitakt 1, and definitely go and watch Red Means Recordings video. You won't be disappointed. As always, thanks for your time, thanks for watching. Stay creative, stay independent. Take care, guys. Bye.